Good morning, my name is Drew Wright. I work for First Heritage Mortgage. My MLS ID number is 589370. And every Monday morning, myself or Alex brings to you a little bit of information from First Heritage Mortgage about mortgage financing, rates, and what a topic that we hope will give you some energy for the week to think about real estate, mortgage, or investing on the Outer Banks. Rates. Typically, first thing we talk about, improved a little bit, quite dramatically. We were pleased with where rates ended. There's a link in this email if you want to click it, and a PDF will open, and it will show you all the rates we have to offer. Some attractive fixed rates for primary residences and second homes and investment properties. There's some attractive ARM options. There's a 7, a 5, and a 10-1 ARM that are great second home products. Second home 30-year fixed rates are a little higher, but if you use the ARMs, you can get rates that are very comparable to a primary residence. We encourage you to give us a call if you want to talk about rates. When you're buying a property, especially a non-owner occupied property, somebody that's a mortgage specialist can really help you get the best rate. Our topic for the week is insights from my gleaning of reading the Wall Street Journal and Barron's. I believe in reading the Wall Street Journal and Barron's thoroughly. Every day, the Journal, and Barron's every week. It comes out on the weekends. These are publications that don't just cover the stock market. They do cover real estate and other investment options, and they talk often about real estate. And one of the things I read recently was about the equity that is in our real estate market. And the title of the article was American Homes Are Piggy Banks That Few People Can Afford. While this piece isn't entirely positive, I tend to look on the bright side of what might be in an article, and I just can't help but see, hey, if there's equity, which is what the article is about, and there's this much, how much is it and what could it do for us? And so my interpretation of this article was, wow, there is a huge unknown amount maybe to many people of what this equity was, and I wanted to point out what it is and how much it is. So the equity in our real estate market, this is the difference between what you owe and what it's worth. So a property that's worth $200,000 that has a $100,000 mortgage on it has $100,000 of equity in it. And that's what we have in our real estate market at the tune of $35 trillion. That is a huge number. It is probably unknown as to being known as that high. The reason I think it's such a great number, if you think about it, we are the largest economy in the world, and our economy every year produces about $27 trillion in value. Also, another number to compare this against is that the entire NASDAQ stock market, now this is just the NASDAQ by itself, it's not all stock markets combined, but the NASDAQ, which owns or is where companies like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, they trade on this exchange. These are some of the most valuable companies in the world, and you hear about their trillion-dollar valuations. Well, the entire value of that market is $25 trillion. This is a huge amount of value that's untapped currently, really, because people are not selling as quickly as they were. And so, I just think there's lots of positive things that can happen, maybe sooner rather than later, or maybe later, we don't really know, with this equity. And there are some people that believe maybe we've got too much equity, meaning prices are too high. But think about it, if prices came down 25%, we would still have $28 trillion in equity, an awful large amount. So who's driving this market? That was the other thing that I took away from this market. So what's the driving force behind this market? Believe it or not, it's the revenge of the baby boomers once again. So sort of back to the future in the sense that the baby boomers drove the real estate market in the 90s as they moved into buying their homes and then into second homes. There were big buyers of property back then. Of course, back then, baby boomers were much younger. Today, this demographic group is 60 to 78 years old. And this group has the most equity in all of the real estate market. Another interesting trend in 2023 and this so far in 2024, this is a statistic from July of 23 to 24, is to show you how much boomers probably are driving it, is that 3/4 of the buyers did not have children. So what you're seeing is less first-time home buyers in the market because prices are so high. And it's stopping people from coming into it. And there's more millennials and boomers buying. Affordability for them is more of a thing. They're either have more wealth or in their peaker years of income. Millennials is that group that's between the ages of 28 and 43, which to some is some of your peak earning years. What you're also seeing with this older demographic is that they can sell their house and fund their retirement. They can sell their house and move to the location they've always wanted or dreamed to live at in a area like Florida or beautiful North Carolina or the Outer Banks preferably, or other, high quality areas of life that they want to live in. And so it's really what's driving the market now. Those are the type of buyers and transactions that are going on more than first-time home buyers. And the last thing is that all that equity is very leverageable. And I encourage people all the time to use the equity in their home when they want to keep their home, of course, and buy another home, especially if it's going to be a second home or investment property. It's a great place to go borrow money because equity lines or second mortgages are really some of the cheapest money you can get. And the article doesn't point this out. In fact, the article just says differently. The equity lines are priced around 8%. Couldn't be further from the truth. You can find equity line lenders, especially if you're an experienced mortgage lender like Alex and I, that will give you rates that are in the low sixes, like 6.25, maybe 6.2, maybe even lower rates of prime -1, which is actually a 6.5% rate. These rates are all lower than I just told you what I lot people for last week on 30-year fixed rate mortgages. So I encourage people to use that equity. It's a great place to go get property. If you're buying a second home, remember second home rates are higher than primaries, but they go down as you put more money down. Using that equity in your house makes sense. These rates are lower than you're going to borrow the money with on the mortgage on that property because they're at 6.2, and the rates you're going to get on these second home rates are going to be maybe under 7, but not lower than 6.5. And that's using ARMs, like a 10-year or a 7-year ARM. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I encourage you to look at our rate sheet. There's a PDF. You can take that or share it with other folks. Please feel free to email this to other people that you think would enjoy reading it. And if you're looking for a mortgage, know a friend, an associate, or anybody who wants a mortgage, we would appreciate you sending them our way. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.